My name is Bill O'Connor. I am the Business Development Director for Life Care Center of Leominster in the Highlands. And I've been asked tonight to present on advanced directives. Advanced care planning, also known as advanced directives.
And if I'm going to interrupt you for 1 second,
Yes.
I need to give great thanks to Bill for his support to our center. He not only is doing this for us, he sponsors the Memory Cafe every month on the last Friday of the month, and he does the veterans work for us. So Bill is an invaluable asset to our center.
Thank you. So I've seen a few presentations on advanced directives, and I'm going to put my twist on it. So I was the admissions director at the Highlands for several years. And the three documents that I'm going to talk about are really important, especially if you have to go into a skilled nursing facility. And I'll explain why as we get to there. Oh, there's me. As you see the middle.
That's you in the middle?
That's me in the middle on one of my better days. Billy Butcher from Hocus Pocus is making an appearance. What is an advanced healthcare directive? Formal advanced directives are documents written in advance of serious illness that state your choices for healthcare or name someone to make those choices if you become unable to make decisions. Through advanced directives, such as living wills and durable power of attorneys for healthcare, you can make legally valid decisions about your future medical treatment. Two main types of directives, actually there are three. Living will and durable power of attorney in a most form, which we will get into. How many people here have a healthcare proxy for themselves or are an agent for a loved one? No?
I'm preparing myself. I'm always 84. I don't want to have a run on the floor.
But honestly, you should have one also.
Yeah, no, I probably should, yeah.
Because we're not getting any younger,
Yeah.
and it just saves people a lot of headaches if, God forbid, something would happen. Clarity and understanding, effective communication reduces misunderstandings. Basically, it's you need to tell somebody what your final directives will be. Choosing a healthcare agent. Pick somebody you completely trust. Choose someone who understands your values, someone that can be available. Always have, this should say always, have an alternate agent. Make sure they're legally allowed, make sure they're of age. Oh, there it is, when you have 18 years or older, must be mentally competent. Living will specifies what kind of medical treatments you do or do not want if you're terminally ill or permanently unconscious. Examples: use life-sustaining treatments, ventilators, feeding tubes, intubation. Whether you want to be resuscitated by CPR, and pain management preferences. A lot of the forms might say DNI/DNR. Do not intubate, do not resuscitate. And where that comes to important, there are a lot of times when I was doing admissions, we would get somebody from the hospital. And these 3 documents, especially the DNI, were very important. A lot of times, if you're at the UMass system, Leominster or Worcester, a lot of the documents are already uploaded into their system they call Epic, where we can access it. But if they're not there, if somebody is a DNR and they have an incident while they're in our building and we don't have that form, we are going to try to save them and send them to the hospital. So if we have that form and we have the person's wishes, and then we just make them comfortable and let nature take its course. Durable power of attorney for healthcare proxy. Appoint someone that is trusted. Does not have to be a family member. It can be a good friend. It can be a neighbor. We've had residents that have come to us from the hospital whose families were not around or didn't want to be involved and lived in an apartment complex, and they named their neighbor as their healthcare proxy and their durable power of attorney. And she's the one that was responsible for all of the decisions, and she was there. If it was not for that, you have to go through the state, you have to be appointed a guardian, which just becomes a nightmare. And this is what this woman wanted because she was so close with her neighbor, because they lived next to each other for 15, 18 years. So the person making decisions in line with your values and preferences, or if not specified, your best interest. Ensure your wishes are followed even when you can't speak for yourself. They reduce confusion or disagreements among family members. Very, very important. And they guide healthcare providers, being at the hospital or at a short-term or long-term facility like one of ours, so they can take care of the medical care. Common terms related to advanced directives. DNR, do not resuscitate. Medical order stating that CPR should not be performed if the heart stops. Every single person that comes in to our buildings, we have a complete binder, and we have their advanced directives in it. And let me tell you, doing admissions, when those people are coming through the door, or we know they're coming in, we have our director of nursing and our director of social services. First things they ask, is there a healthcare proxy? And is there a most, which I will get to. So it's very, very important to have. The polls, we're going to call it what it is in Massachusetts. It is a most. Medical order for life-sustaining treatment. I only brought one of these because my director of social services guards these with her life. As you notice the color, this is so it's easily seen in their chart. And it's also uploaded into their electric medical record at our buildings and also at the hospital. Now, when they upload them at the hospital, when they scan them in, they become gray. You can barely read them. So we make sure that when we deal with the case managers at the hospitals, that they are sending the original that was either done prior to hospitalization or that they've done at the hospital. And some of the questions on this are CPR, do not resuscitate or attempt resuscitation. Ventilation, do not intubate or ventilate or intubate and ventilate. Transfer to the hospital. This is one of the ones that our buildings really, this is why we have this. Tells us whether, if they're ill, whether we just keep them in our building, make them comfortable, or call 911 and send them to the hospital. And we have the patient sign it if possible, if not the healthcare agent, and also has to be signed by a physician. So, very, very important document. Heavy cardstock, bright pink, easy to see in the chart. And it's a good thing to have at home. I know some people have cared for elderly loved ones.
Yes. Mine is hanging on her closet door. There's a clip that has her most form, the original, plus copies, the healthcare proxies, all her medications, everything, all in one place on the closet door.
And that is great. God forbid you have to call 911. And the EMTs can come and take that with them to the hospital. So there are no questions. And then the hospital knows who they're dealing with the healthcare proxy.
Well, what happens if something happens to one of us up here? You know, nobody here knows what my wishes are, so are they gonna rush me to the hospital and do CPR?
If they don't know, yes, they will. You can carry cards around in your wallet.
Years ago, they used to give you a bracelet. My aunt had a bracelet. And
I
it was like
remember that
1999.
years and
I don't
years
think they
ago.
do that anymore, do they?
So, steps to create an advanced directive, a healthcare proxy in Massachusetts. Here we go. Choose a trusted person as your healthcare agent. Hate to say it, if you have a family member that you cannot trust, don't choose them. If you have two family members that are not in agreement, I would not have one as the agent and one as the alternate. Because it can get, known from experience, it can get ugly. Download and complete the correct form. If you go to the hospital and do not have one, the social workers or case managers will most likely ask you if you want one. And if you're competent and you fill one out, they will witness it and sign it. And it has to be witnessed and signed by people other than your healthcare agent or the alternate. Sign it properly. Must be 18 years old or mentally competent. Signature must be witnessed by two adults who are not your agent and generally not your alternate agent. We're lucky in Massachusetts, it does not have to be a notarized document. Some states do require it to be a notarized document. And then it gets a little sketchy because then some people want the original with that raised seal. Make copies. Have them everywhere. Keep the original in a place where it can be found. Give copies to your agent, your PCP, or most likely his NP or PA, because we know how much we all see our PCP. Carry a wallet, card, or note so that you have documents and where the original is stored. Everybody's got a cell phone, right? A good one? No, not. If you do, take a picture of it and you have it on your phone. Have it save it in notes. Even with this older iPhone 12, I have notes and I have pictures saved as in my notes for different things. Review, update it. Just to let you know, these are not signed and stoned documents. If you choose a healthcare proxy and then you decide that, hey, you know what, this person doesn't want to be my healthcare proxy, or the person may have moved, or God forbid passed away, you can revise your document. And if you are at the hospital, they will upload it. And everything in that Epic system that UMass has is chronological. So I can go into the documents and I can see, okay, this is the latest healthcare proxy, or the latest MOSA forms. And it has the date next to them. Here it is, review, update, or revoke your wishes if your wishes change. Maybe you went through a stage where, you know, I don't want to be saved. I don't want CPR. And now all of a sudden it's like, oh, wait a minute, I'm too young to go. Change it. We're going over some other documents. That's the PowerPoint. So one of the other documents that's really important, and you have packets in front of you, is the durable power of attorney. This deals with the financial part of the picture. So a regular healthcare proxy is your medical part. This deals with your bank accounts, your house, your cars, anything like that. And the reason we have these at our buildings is twofold. If somebody comes in short-term rehab and they become incapacitated, or they have dementia, and that healthcare proxy is invoked, then the durable power of attorney will kick in on who's going to handle the bank accounts, who's going to deal with the business office. And it comes down to little things. PSA, it's a personal spending account. We have at our building for our long-term residents that want to get their hair cut every other week or weekly. They can put money into their account and it automatically comes out and goes to the hairdresser. Or we do trips with some of our residents. They'll go to Olive Garden. They'll go for ice cream. They go to a place in Westminster for fish and chips, seafood.
Friendlies.
No friendlies. But they all have their accounts. and the money just comes out of there. So without having a durable power of attorney for the PSA, they can't access any of that money, or money can't be put into it. And it comes down to, for the mass health application, for the long-term people, power of attorney is the one that gives us the permission to go in with the state or with a company like Silver Linings, that helps with the mass health applications, to be able to go in and access everything, to make sure that everything is correct. So 3 documents. Any questions?
I realized I had a bunch of 5 wishes. This also helps work through some of the questions and things that might reduce some ambiguity for your family members about your wishes. And these other 2. I thought I might have some rules forms printed out, but I don't. I think we don't have any cards.
A couple of quick things.
Yes.
I know you and I know, when you say someone you can trust, that doesn't mean they're a trusting person. It's someone that you trust will fulfill your wishes.
Yes.
If you have one kid, or if you know your husband or your wife is going to cling to life that you don't want to be kept alive on a machine, you know that person doesn't have the heart to make the decision. You don't want them to be your healthcare proxy. You want somebody who understands your wishes and will follow them. And the other thing is, a healthcare proxy, I can't tell you how many times, I used to work at the medical records department at many different hospitals, and people would come in wanting medical records, saying, but I'm the healthcare proxy. That doesn't give you the right to medical records. A power of attorney doesn't give you right to medical records unless it's specifically stated. They have to add that. And also, the healthcare proxy is not worth the piece of paper it's written on until it's invoked. So I'm my mother's healthcare proxy. She's going to be 94 years old next month, but she's as sharp as a tack. She's still calling all the shots, whether you think or not. Unless that's invoked by a doctor or a facility, that healthcare proxy doesn't go into effect. You're not making any decisions until that person is deemed incapable of. Those are the only things I can.
Yep.
That people don't realize.
Right. It's a tough conversation to have with your children, if you're having your children as your healthcare proxies. Being in this the last decade, and not being that old, well, I'm getting there. We have had, my wife and I have had that conversation with our kids. Like, okay, this is, sitting around the dinner table. This is what we want. This is our final wishes. And we've got it all on paper, like it should be. Now, a healthcare proxy can ask how things are going at the skilled nursing facility. Other family members cannot call up and say, hey, I'm just checking on Mom or Auntie Sue. If you're not on a healthcare proxy, legally, the nursing staff at our buildings cannot give out that information. So, different things on that power of attorney. Real estate transactions. Tangible property transactions, selling cars or whatever. Stock and bonds, commodities. Banking and other financial institute transactions. They're the ones that can pay for things, get a check. Insurance and annuity. Real estate, trust, or beneficiary transactions. Here's a very important one. Benefits from Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid. The power of durable power of attorney you're not gonna get anything, that money is just gonna sit there. One of the things that has come up in our buildings, where we've had people that may have lost loved ones early in their lives, 50s or so, and have developed relationships with people and moved in or whatever, and lived together for 20, 30 years without durable power of attorney or healthcare proxy. And one person goes into the hospital, and basically the other person is left with nothing. You can't do anything for that person that's in our buildings. And that's when a family member will come in, and the next thing you know, that person that was living together, the one that was home, is now out. So it becomes a really sad situation. Yes, my friend.
Can you put all this information, instead of on a proxy, can you put it on a will?
You still need to have a healthcare proxy, the form that's there. It'll be part of your will, but you've got the paperwork there. You need to have that form filled out. Same thing with the most form.
And I think a power of attorney, the minute you die, that power of attorney is gone. But a will doesn't start until you die. Am I correct? So you can put it in the will, but unless you're dead, the will isn't legal. It's there to become legal, but the will is, so, and that's the funny thing, 'cause that's another thing we used to get all the time, but on power of attorney, it's like, yeah, but they died.